Okay, so in this Word add-in webinar, we'll be answering these following questions. 1, how do I enable Word add-in? 2, how do I create a new document? How do I add fields to the document? How do I control a field's behavior? And how do I generate a letter on a record? And again, as I said earlier, there'll be Q&A after the overview. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So the Word add-in is an exciting new product that allows a Flex admin at your foundation to create, edit, or format letters using Microsoft Word. Without writing any liquid code, we could assemble a template that pulls fields from records and presents them in the standard .docx format. To begin with, we should outline the system requirements for the add-in. So currently, only Windows computers can use the add-in. Computers running a Mac operating system cannot use this add-in to create or edit templates. Now, for those with Windows computers, you are going to need to have Microsoft Office installed. Versions 2010, 2013, and 2016 are supported. One important point, these requirements only pertain to creating and editing a Word template. Once the template has been built and uploaded to Flex, any employee could use it to generate letters. All right, so assuming your computer satisfies this criteria, let's learn how to enable the new add-in. So first, we want to log into our Flex instance and then open the admin panel. Once you open the admin panel, go ahead and click Global Settings, General Settings, and then check the box to enable the Beta Word plugin. Then, of course, as always, click Save. Now that we have the add-in enabled, it's time for us to create our first template. So again, from the admin panel, let's go ahead and click on Card Documents and choose a model. In this webinar, we're going to go ahead and use the grant request model. But the Word add-in should work for all model types. Next, we're going to go ahead and click the Letters tab at the top center of the screen. Once we're in there, we're going to go ahead and click on New Documents at the bottom here. Okay, so in the attributes section, on the column to the right, we're going to want to make sure that letter type is set to Word template. So here you're going to give the template a name, and this exercise we're going to call ours webinar demo. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and click Save on the bottom right. So before we can use the add-in for the first time, we're going to need to download and install it. So in the right column, we're going to click the link to download and install the Flex add-in. Once it downloads, I would open and run the installation to add into my copy of Word. And don't worry, you should only need to do this once. So once it's downloaded, I'll click the link to download the base template to my computer. So once I have it on the computer, I'm going to go ahead and open it up. When I first open it, I start with a clean slate. I have to click Enable Editing at the top center here. And then next, I'm going to need to log Word into my Flex instance so I could display my fields. So to do that, I go ahead and click Flux at the top center of the Word window. And then I click the Login button. Should bring me to this screen right here. So once I get to this login page, I'm going to put in my Flex email address, my username, and password. I'm sorry, I'm putting my Flex address, so my site URL. And then you're going to go ahead and enter your username, password, then click Login. So once I've logged in, this is how I can begin to build my template. On the left side of the Word window, you can see a long list of field names. Above that list, I can tell which model is the parent of this template. So in this example, since we're using grant request as the parent. So next, I find it easier to build if we enable design mode. So go ahead and click on the Developer tab in the ribbon on the top center. Then you're going to go ahead and click design mode in the ribbon. This mode will clearly identify fields, conditions, and list among the normal text. So let's go ahead and add a field. In our example, we type a sentence followed by a colon. We want to place the amount recommended field after the colon. There. With the cursor blinking after the colon, we click once on the desired field, amount recommended, and we click, then click the insert right here. And yeah, that button is going to be found right here underneath the list. We could also double click the amount recommended field. Either way, it's going to go ahead and plug it into the cursor's position. So notice that we could see, now that the field's placed, notice that we could see more information about the field by clicking on it. The information appears in the Elements panel on the right, similar to what your Attributes column would look like on your admin panel. So the Elements panel is also where I can control formatting for a field. For number fields, the Format dropdown will display decimal, currency, and other number formats. For date fields, the Format dropdown displays a menu of date formats. The Word add-in allows us to add traditional headers and footers to letters. So I click Insert in the ribbon, then I click Header or Footer, and then I'm going to go ahead and choose a style. Word will change modes to allow us to add content to the header or footer. So notice that I could add fields the same way here that I would to the body. So click and place the cursor, and then add a field from the field list. And again, you can do so by clicking Insert or you could double click the field. So you may have noticed that the field list on the left contains fields and folders. The folders are designated by a plus sign. So if you're looking for a field that lives in a card different from the parent, in this case, the grant request card, you'll need to find the other card in the list and click the plus sign next to it. After a moment, all the fields contained by that card will appear indented under the card title. And then again, add the field the same way. Generally speaking, whenever we add a field that comes from a card different from the parent, the field name will be formatted like this. And again, this is a breakdown of what the field would look like. So it'd be model dot field name. In this example, the field is request transaction IDs dot payment recorded by dot full name. Now let's look at some more sophisticated behavior. The word add-in allows us to control how a field behaves in several ways. First, I could use conditional logic to control when a field appears in the letter. So let's go ahead and try one out. To start, I click on the Flux ribbon at the top of the window. Next, I'd click on Condition in the top left, and after a moment, the modal will appear in the center of the document, like this. So I click on the green plus in the top right corner to add a condition. And then I'm going to go ahead and choose a field to test. In our example, I'm going to put in the grant approved at field. Then next, I'm going to scroll down and choose an operator. We used is not. And then finally, I'm going to choose a value. In this case, I used null. That's what it looked like. The resulting condition reads, grant approved at is not null. And then I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Now in the Elements panel, we could see the code that is generated based on what we choose. The cursor is now blinking inside the condition tag, waiting for us to add something. So let's go ahead and add the grant approved at field. There you go. Now using this conditional logic, we have told Word to display the value inside grant approved at, so long as there's data inside of it. If grant approved at contains no data, it will not display. Now, another feature of the Word add-in is the list tag. Sometimes one record could have multiple pieces of data related to it. Think of multiple payments that link to one grant. When we have more than one value for a field, we can use a list to display all of them. So again, I start by clicking Flux in the ribbon at the top of the screen, and clicking List, and then a modal will appear containing a relationship dropdown. So let's click on it and choose a card. In our example, we're going to go ahead and choose Request Transaction IDs. There it is. So next I'm going to go ahead and choose a field from that card. In this example, I'm going to use amount paid. And I click OK. And the result is a list tag containing the amount paid from the request transaction card. If there are multiple values for amount paid, they'll all be displayed here. So using these methods, I could craft a letter however I like. Once I finish, I need to upload this template to Flux so I could generate letters against my records. So let's look into how we can upload that. So I'm going to click File, then Save As, and then choose the title of the template and save it to my desktop. Okay, so now I've saved my file. Once I do that, I go into the admin panel in my Flux instance and navigate again to Card Documents, Grant Request, and then click on the letter that I started at the beginning. And again, we're using Webinar Demo here. So let's go ahead and click the Upload button in the right column. And then in the Open dialog, I find and open the template we have made. So there's the Webinar Demo template that I saved to my desktop. Once the document's uploaded, I need to click Save. I'll click the Save button at the bottom right corner over here. Finally, we should make sure that we have checked the box at the bottom right column to display this in the ad hoc document letter generation list. Without this checkbox, our template will not be visible in the card when we click the Generate button. So once I've checked that box, again, I'm going to click Save. And there you go. Congratulations. We built our first template using the word add-in. Now it's time to create a letter based on this template. So let's exit the admin panel and open a request card. I find a record I want to use to test this template. Then I scroll down to the Documents component, and then I click the Generate Document button. So a modal would appear, and in the dropdown, I find and click on the template we created. There's the webinar demo, and then we're going to go ahead and click Save. After a moment, my document should generate, automatically download, and appear in the document component. So let's open it by clicking on it. The document opens, I should see record-specific data wherever we place the fields. All of my formatting should also be preserved. If there's gaps in the letter where we placed fields, that means that there's no data in this record for that field. For example, some fields have populated, as you can see, while some have not. So when this happens, I might need to continue working on the template and experiment with other fields to find the ones that I need. Okay, so that concludes today's webinar on the word add-in, and I hope you enjoyed it. If there's any features that I did not cover extensively, we're going to go ahead and be hosting trainings in the future to address these features. You may also learn about any of these features by visiting our knowledge base. So let's open it up to some questions. Okay, so our first question, when will it be available for Mac OS X? Well, this depends. Since the versions of Microsoft Word for Mac hasn't made the add-in platform or the ribbon where the Flux Word add-in tab should show, the one that you can find on top of your screen. We pretty much are constrained by the software available for Mac users. We'll make sure to let you know if we found a way to do so, though. Thanks. I'm sure you can imagine a lot of our users want this available for Mac OS X. Our next question here is there any chance you'll add the ability to search for a field in the Field Explorer? Not so far, but again, this is a great suggestion, and we're going to go ahead and pass this along to our product team. So thanks for the suggestion. There was also a comment on the date format. We're working to make the date format selectable based on your country or regions, um, or your region's format in the near future. So we'll announce this when the feature has been improved for you and your users. So again, thank you for your suggestions. Thank you for your comments. Looks like we have a couple more here. I don't see developer in the ribbon in Word. So great question. By default, Word doesn't display the developer tab in the ribbon. Fortunately, turning it on is pretty simple. You're going to go ahead and click on the File tab, then click Options. You're going to go ahead and click Customize Ribbon. And then under Customize Ribbon and under Main tabs, check the Developer checkbox. So again, the path is going to be File, Options, Customize Ribbon, and then under the Customize Ribbon and that window, under the Main tabs, check the Developer checkbox. Okay, our next question is another good one. I've tried building a letter and some of my fields don't show. What do I do? Well, there's two approaches here. One is trial and error. Put in several fields that could contain the data, then save and upload the template. When you test, find which one contains the correct data and remove the others. The other way to approach it is to go into the builder in Flux and then find the card that contains the field you're looking for, looking to include, and then take note of the system name of the field itself, and then back in Word, try to find that card name in the list and the system name that you noted from the builder. So again, two approaches, but trial and error is probably going to be the one that you're going to want to try out the most. I think we have time for one more question here. The last question is, I tried using the conditional formatting in the Word template and it crashed. What did I do? So again, sorry to hear about this. Like I said earlier, the add-in is still in beta, meaning our developers are still fleshing out features and squashing bugs. We're always working to improve the tool. So again, we appreciate your patience as we develop it. Our developers are on it. Okay, so if there's any further questions, we're just going to go ahead and cut it off today, but we'll answer it offline. You'll also be able to find video recordings of past webinars and any continued Q&A on our knowledge base. Again, today we went over the Word add-in and we learned how to enable the Word add-in, how to create a new document, how to add fields to the document, how to control a field's behavior, and of course, how to generate the full letter against a record. As I was saying earlier, to learn more, access the video recording of the webinar and any extended Q&A, go ahead and visit our knowledge base. That's going to be at flux.io/knowledge. There you'll be able to find a list of our upcoming webinars, links to future webinars and how you could register for that, and recordings of past webinars under training webinars. But of course, you could always feel free to ask us at support, and we're happy to help you. So thanks again for joining us today, and we hope to host you again at our next training. Have a good one.